Orlando, WJRR HD2 Cocoa Beach, FM 96.9 The Game, the home of Orlando City Soccer Club.
Time to put the pedal to the floor. It's loud and live and local. Oh, time for open mic.
Happy hump day, everybody. We are live. We are live. We are local every morning, 6 to 9:30 a.m. right here on FM 96.9 The Game. Or maybe you're listening on AM 740. Or maybe you're listening on HD Radio 101.1-2. Or maybe you're watching us on social media, on the YouTube machine. If you want to watch us on YouTube, just go to YouTube, search for the Open Mic live stream, and you can see us and hear us live and in color. Welcome to Open Mic. I'm Mike Bianchi, the Bulldog, sports columnist of the Orlando Sentinel. Adam Reardon, the deceptive intellect, he joins us. Austin Pistolka, the Sultan of Sound, he's right over there.
Yeah, that's right, Mike, and you know what time it is? It's time for the Bro Take Reveal! Representing Cocoa Beach today. That's right. Check out the live stream if you want to check out this bro tank and all the beef that contains it.
How many tanks do you have?
Between 10 and 11. 10 and a half.
Okay.
One of them's a crop top.
That is Kelly Velez, the prince of production, asking Austin Pistolka how many tank tops he has. Austin Pistolka, do you have the type of tank tops you probably get, being the cheapskate that you are, being the poor guy that you are, you probably get like just the generic Cocoa Beach like t-shirt or tank top on the $5 rack. Is that what you do?
Oh, absolutely. You kidding me? Like there's one shop in Cocoa Beach that says nothing over $9.99. That is my go-to shop, okay?
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Nothing over $9.99 and barely anything over $6.99, okay?
You watch that tank top a couple times, you can't even read Cocoa Beach on it anymore, can you?
You got to wash it in cold water. If you wash it in warm water, it's going to fade. But you wash it in cold water, everything's fine.
Oh, wow. All right, we want to hear from you. Give us a call, 407-916-8255. You can tweet us at 96.9 The Game. You can also text us on our Academy Sports and Outdoors text line. That's 50857. We not only entertain and inform you, we give you chances to win money right here on this show, starting at 7:10 a.m. this morning and then on the 10s throughout the day. 7:10 a.m., 8:10 a.m., 9:10 a.m. You have a chance to win $1,000. Just listen for your instructions at those times, and we will give you that opportunity. Brought to you by International Diamond Center. We like to begin each day, each show, with an open mic early morning inspirational quote of the day. This comes from the great Hal Borland. And I quote, knowing trees, I understand the meaning of patience. Knowing grass, I can appreciate persistence. Grasshopper, deceptive intellect, can you?
Well, understanding trees, you have to have patience because trees take so long to grow. And if you're not patient, then you won't enjoy the fruits of that tree.
Yeah.
Persistence. Learning that from grass is simple. Grass continues to grow no matter what. You ever see grass grow up through the cracks of concrete, find their way from underneath the ground, through the cracks of the concrete? Because it's persistent. It doesn't stop until it sees the light of day.
Ooh. See, I thought he was talking about like mowing the grass. You mow the grass down. What's it do?
Keep growing back.
Comes right back.
Yeah, that too. Even when it gets knocked down, it comes back again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Chumbawamba, actually, that was their inspiration for that one famous song they had. They get knocked, we get cut down, we grow back again, is what was the original lyrics of that song. And then somebody says, that sounds stupid.
Never asked a question about the name of the song, though. Tub Thumping?
Yeah.
They never went, oh, that's a weird name for this song. But the grass thing, get that out of here. Cut that out.
All right, let's start. We don't usually start with baseball, but my Rays got it done yesterday. Give me a little Austin Meadows from last night.
Rowan throws, swinging another one deep in the air into right center field. Trout all the way back to the wall, and Meadows has done it again. He has 2 homers in his many at-bats against Rowan. This one's a 3-run shot to blow the game open.
Okay, he needs to be more excited. I don't know who that play-by-play guy is, but that was Austin Meadows' second home run last night as he leads the Rays to an 8-3 victory over the LA Angels. I was fired up. I think my Rays, are they still 2.5 games back of the hated Red Sox? I think they are. I think they're still 2.5 games back of the Red Sox, although the Yankees are making a charge now, so the Yankees are right up at the top of the division as well. And in fact, I think they're tied with my Rays. Woo! So anyway, so good for the Rays. They win last night 8-3. I want to start with this, though. You know me. I'm addicted to the ESPN talking head shows during the afternoon, whether it be First Take or, Around the Horn, Pardon the Interruption. All these talking head shows, they cannot stop talking about Aaron Rodgers, all right? The NFL draft, obviously, they're still breaking that down, but they cannot stop talking about Aaron Rodgers and which team, the Broncos, which team should make a run at Aaron Rodgers. Well, I got to thinking yesterday as I'm watching all this Aaron Rodgers hullabaloo. Why don't the Dodgers, why don't the Dolphins make a run at Aaron Rodgers? Austin, see if you can look this up. I believe the Dolphins have a bunch of future first-round draft picks. I think they've traded down a couple times. I think they have some extra first-round draft picks. It might be 4 draft picks, maybe in the next 3 years. I'm talking about first round, or maybe the next 2 years. All right? Can you look that up? Because if I'm the Dolphins, I want to know what you guys think of this. If I'm the Dolphins, I would package a couple of first-round draft picks. If they want Tua, I'd give them Tua, even though the Packers have their quarterback of the future, I'm assuming, in Jordan Love. But package a couple of first-round draft picks for Aaron Rodgers. Maybe throw in some other player that the Packers may want. Wouldn't you do that if you're the Dolphins?
Mike, you're doing it again. Austin,
did you say that?
Yeah, Austin, do you not remember the day after the draft? I said, I was just waiting for when the Dolphins come up there, when they had the card from the Dolphins to say, the Dolphins have traded their pick and Tua to the Green Bay Packers.
No, you didn't. No, I don't remember you saying
I definitely said that because Austin said, me too.
You said that.
Yes,
said that?
I said the exact same thing.
Yep, absolutely. That is a thing that happened.
No, this makes so much sense. Mike's got all these great ideas. Mike's great ideas come a day after my great ideas. By the way, I don't know if you see a trend developing here, but no, to me, if the Dolphins,
you almost said you're absolutely right. You meant to say I'm absolutely right.
I used to be absolutely right, but now it turns out you are absolutely right. Listen. Aaron Rodgers wants to play on a team that's look. It's not to say that the Packers aren't ready to win now is kind of ridiculous because they're in the NFC title game. Okay, but if he needs a change of scenery. If he's looking for sort of a fresh start, if you will, or somewhere where he wants to win, or he feels like the team is with him, and if the Dolphins really believe, I don't know if Tua's the guy, but we've got a lot of other great things in place.
Even if you think he might be the guy, who cares? Aaron Rodgers is 10 times better than Tua.
Well, you don't want to mortgage your absolute future.
Tua will never be as good as Aaron Rodgers.
I would agree with that wholeheartedly. So, listen, it made a lot of sense to me. I was thinking it was going to happen because that information came out, draft day, that Aaron Rodgers wanted out of there. And I'm thinking that night, I'm like, ooh, be interesting to see if the Miami Dolphins, that would be a team that I'd love to see make that move because they have, I believe, the draft equity, like you said. They've got a young quarterback.
Austin, have you found anything on their?
I believe so. So I think next year they have 11 picks, and I believe they have 2 set up for the first round for next year.
They have 2 first-rounders next year. 2
first-rounders and a second rounder.
They could have traded Tua, one of their first-rounders this year. Didn't they have 2 this year? They had 2 this year. And then one of them next year. So if you're the Green Bay Packers, do you say no to a young quarterback and then 2 first-round picks for Aaron Rodgers who's totally disgruntled?
They also have 2 first-round picks in 2023. So
yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
I thought they had 4 in the next 2 years.
They do.
I would trade if the Packers wanted 3 of those, I would give them to them. I would give them 3 first-round picks for Aaron Rodgers. Now, Aaron Rodgers would have to be, he would have to commit and say, I'm not going to be the host of Jeopardy after this season. But I think, and I said this before, I think Aaron Rodgers just wants out of Green Bay. I don't think he wants to live in Green Bay anymore. I think he wants to live someplace where he and his new actress fiance will be, South Beach, Miami, L.A., a place like that. I just don't think he wants to be in Green Bay anymore. And I think he's using management as an excuse because I just think he wants out.
I don't buy that because the management has done such a poor job around him. Like, in spite of Aaron, the Green Bay Packers should be Super Bowl champions once or twice over, more than the one time that Aaron Rodgers has won it. Can we all agree with that? Because Aaron Rodgers is that good of a quarterback. Had management done their job, Aaron Rodgers would be a multiple-time Super Bowl champion, but he's not. Why? Management. It wasn't for a lack of Aaron Rodgers trying, okay? And that's why I disagree with you. I believe he's happy in Green Bay. He's not happy with the team.
Yeah, that's just because you're from the Midwest and you think everybody likes cold, blustery weather.
Let me tell you something, Mike. The Midwest has incredible appeal.
I will say this, that the team that leads for him, I guess right now, everybody's talking about is Denver, and I'm thinking, God, if this guy wants
that's
out,
not that much better.
Yeah, I say, well, I mean, like maybe a little bit better, but a little bit better.
I've been to Green Bay and I've been to Denver. Denver's a lot better than Green Bay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't hear a whole lot of people like during the winter time going like, "Hey, where you guys want to go? Colorado or Wisconsin?"
Hey, you want to go sledding in Green Bay or you want to go skiing in Boulder?
Listen, you can either go skiing in in the Denver area, or you can go get snowed in at in Green Bay. You choose.
Maybe this could be an Aaron Rodgers. What is he? 37 years old. So he's getting up there in age. How about this? How about the Bucs sign Aaron Rodgers? They can let Brady play in the first half of games, Aaron Rodgers in the second half. That way they could extend their careers even longer.
Gosh dang it, Mike. That was Adam's idea.
Finally, Mike comes up with an idea all his own because I had nothing to do with that one. Let me check with my friend in Tampa to see if that's a possibility. Hold on.
All right, we do have a supplemental poll up on this about should the Dolphins make a move for Aaron Rodgers. You can go vote on that poll and all of our other polls at 96.9 The Game. All right, straight ahead, a Major League Baseball pitcher injures himself playing a video game. If we can't get a spontaneous text question out of that, we need to all get fired. That's next on the
one, and he's going to go down as probably the second best. And one is obviously Magic. What he does, there's no point guard has ever done it. Nobody.
That's Washington Wizards head coach Scott Brooks talking about his point guard Russell Westbrook, who he now coaches with the Wizards, coached him at Oklahoma City as well. Says Russell Westbrook has moved past everyone except Magic Johnson as the second best point guard of all time. Statistically, you could say that, but I don't think anybody, I don't think he's going to go down in history as the second best point guard of all time. I mean, Magic Johnson, I think everybody agrees, is number one, even though us old guys, Cousy. I'm just kidding. I never actually saw Bob Cousy play, but I mean, come on now. You've got Isaiah Thomas, you've got, Steph Curry, you've got the Big O, Oscar Robertson, Gary Payton, go down the list. I don't know. He's top five. Allen Iverson. I'm just, Walt Frazier. I'm just looking at some of the great point guards. Not number two.
John Stockton.
Yeah, John Stockton. Although he didn't win any championships either.
No.
So he's top five. But is he number two? Probably not.
Like, sort of the devil is in the details here. It's sort of like when somebody says, hey, he's the best at something. When you say best, that means like you're super accomplished, like you've been the best. Is he the most talented? Maybe. But being the most talented doesn't make you the best.
Although he can't shoot. He can't shoot.
But he can score. He can score.
He can score. He just can't shoot.
Yeah. I mean, I don't care how you put you could put it in the hoop from 30 feet away, 20 feet away. You can dunk it all night if you want to. I mean, if you're getting 20 a night with 12 assists and 10 rebounds, he may be the most talented and most physically gifted of all those guys. I mean, when you start thinking about Magic was extremely physically gifted. But just when you say he's the best at something, you sort of always sort of go, well, all right, well, I mean, you're the best. That means you must have won a whole bunch. And turns out he hasn't won anything. And I was, when you were mentioning Magic, I was like, well, he didn't play with Kareem. And then I started thinking, I'm like, well, he's played with Kevin Durant and James Harden on the same team. Yeah. How hard is it to win with that?
Yeah, in this game today, it's difficult. I think I do understand that thinking in sports you have to win, right? But also I feel like you have to appreciate players like this that come along. Even though they haven't made it over the hump, they're still out here putting up numbers and providing for the teams that they're on, which is incredible. For instance, like if we like an artist, we're gonna mess with them regardless, right? It doesn't matter if they win the Grammy or not. If they have good product, good music, we love them for that. And I think we should show more appreciation for people like Russell Westbrook, even though they haven't reached that point yet.
Mike, and here's a perfect example. We were talking about the Dolphins earlier. There's a lot of people that would put Dan Marino in their top 5 of quarterbacks of all time.
Quarterbacks. Yeah.
He never won a thing. Never won. Went to the Super Bowl is like, I think, his rookie season.
So I think it might have been his second year.
Season?
Maybe it was his rookie. Yeah.
And then never sniffed the thing ever again, But that didn't stop people in my lifetime going, Dan Marino's one of the greatest of all time, man. And everybody sort of said, yeah, he is, man. Look at him. He's big. He's strong. He throws the ball down the field. Lots of yards. Lots of touchdowns. Never won a thing.
Well, he held the passing record. He held the career passing record for a long time. But he's sort of. I don't think anybody ever said
Russell Westbrook is the Dan Marino of the NBA.
He is.
Yeah,
he is. He absolutely is. That's a great comparison. Dan Marino, statistically, at least when he was playing, was one the best passer of all time when it came to yardage and completions and all of that. And then of course Peyton Manning broke all of those records, but. Yeah, but he never won anything, and that's always been held against Dan Marino, and I think it's going to be held against Russell Westbrook. But to Kelly's point, I don't think anybody doesn't appreciate what Russell Westbrook has done. I just don't think people are putting him at the very top of the list. But they are willing to say, yeah, he's a top 5 point guard of all time. That's pretty good. I think that's appreciating him. Top 5 of all time?
So make the top 5, Mike. Let me hear Mike Bianchi's top 5 point guards, because I want to think. I wonder who gets. John Stockton gets left out. I mean, look when you look at Westbrook's numbers,
it's ridiculous.
I mean, if you took championship rings out of the equation and you just put blind taste test, this guy's numbers versus this guy's numbers versus this guy's numbers, he'd be the number one point guard. Honestly, I'd have to look at Magic's numbers, but that would be the only one that comes close. But I even think then he would fall short.
Here would be my all right. Here's my top 5: Magic Johnson, Steph Curry would be in the top 5. Isaiah Thomas would be in the top 5. And Oscar Robertson. I'll put Oscar Robertson in the top 5, even though I didn't really see him play in his prime. How many is that? 4?
Yeah. So then you have Westbrook.
Then I'd have a Westbrook right there with the big O, and he'd be in my top 5. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
That would be my top 5.
Not a bad top 5.
Allen Iverson. Do you put him in ahead of Allen Iverson? Allen Iverson did win 1 championship. Bob Cousy. Again, I never saw him play. Damian Lillard. He's pretty damn good too. Right?
God, it's so weird because I grew up at a time where the point guard was the guy who kind of like orchestrated the offense. He wasn't the offense. He was really like, John Stockton, the offense kind of ran, like he started it. But it wasn't the guy you were looking for to score 20 to 25 a night. But you mentioned Steph and Dame and these guys now, Russell. I mean, these are guys that, as a point guard position, you're counting on to score 25 a night. Gary Payton was like the first point guard for me that, one, he could assist. 2, he was the best defensive point guard in the league. And then 3, he'd score 20 a night. And I always thought, man, that's a lot for a point guard, 20 a night. Nowadays, that guy would be on the bench. Like, hey, you're not giving us enough there, Gary. Sorry, Glove. I know you play great defense, but we need 25 to 30 out of you every night. Look what Steph's doing over there.
And he's on the bench like, what do you mean?
Hey, real quick, a spontaneous text question.
Spontaneous text question of the day.
Text into 50857. This is in relation to Oakland A's pitcher Jesus Luzardo breaking his pinky finger while playing a video game the other day. He's on the injured list now. Weirdest sports injuries. Text those into 50857. I've got a couple that I covered personally. David Duval, when he was in his prime as the number 1 golfer in the world, he had to sit out a tournament one time because he burned his hand making hot tea. Yes, my hand was burnt making a little hot tea. I'm gonna have to sit out this one. Yeah. So that one comes to mind. What was the other one?
Wasn't there a player once that hurt himself ironing a shirt while he was wearing
Smoltz.
it?
That's exactly what I was going to say. John Smoltz ironed a shirt while it was on.
Why would you tell the truth about that? I don't understand. I would say, one of my kids grabbed the iron and he pressed it on. Not like, hey, I was sitting there, thought it'd be a great idea. I got
it was a steamer. Here. It was a steamer. That's why it was like, I was steaming out the wrinkles.
Yeah, John Smoltz seems like a smart guy.
Didn't like Sammy Sosa at one point sneeze and he threw his whole back out. He's like, I can't play for the next couple games, guys.
All right, text us into 50857. Straight ahead, it sounds more and more like the Jags are going to sign Tim Tebow. I'll explain next on Open Mic.
This is Markel
at 50857 and join the conversation.
Kelly Velez already has attained Austin Pastolka's retention level. Yeah, we were.
No, we couldn't hear you.
Oh, that was my fault.
Yeah.
That's probably I was distracting everybody during the break. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we were going to come back with an Urban Meyer clip there, but we didn't do that.
Oh dear.
That's my fault. My fault.
I need to tell him like 5 seconds before.
No,
So,
don't do
yes,
that. Ain't nobody got time for that, Mike.
You're running the risk that of the computer not negotiating in an hour. What? That's too much pressure.
All right, so Urban Meyer once again addressed the Tim Tebow signing with the Jaguars, or at least trying out for the Jaguars as a tight end. Do we have that clip?
Years ago they would always talk about why didn't he play tight end and why didn't he do this, why didn't he do that? And Tim, he has never played tight end. That's going to be a tough go. And he tried out with our tight end coach. And I on purpose removed myself from that because I have very strong opinions about the competitive nature and how tough he is. But I also have made a commitment to our owner and the people of Jacksonville. The only decisions I'm going to make is if it can help us win a game. That's it. There is no.
This guy's a piece of work.
I purposely removed myself from the process. Sure you did, Urban. Sure you did. Purposely removed myself from the process. The more I hear Urban Meyer talk, and the more Urban Meyer moves his lips, he's lying, all right? Whenever he moves his lips, he's usually lying. All right, so the more I hear Urban Meyer talk, the more I'm convinced that the Jaguars are going to sign Tim Tebow as a tight end. In fact, the owner's son, Shad Khan's son, Tony Khan, he's an executive with the team. What's his title? Chief Football Strategy Officer is Tony Khan.
Dad, give me a job, please. Dad, please. Give me a job, Dad.
Okay, Tony, you can be the Chief Football Strategy Officer. Okay? All right, so the Tony Khan was doing an interview with the Bleacher Report. Listen to this quote, all right? Quote, Tim has definitely come in and worked out. So beyond that, I can't say too much. But Tim has come in, worked out as a tight end. That's not a position that we've seen him play, but it's a position that he's been practicing at with us. All right? Which makes it sound like he's worked out more than once, but it's a position that he's been practicing at with us. So that will be interesting to see how that contributes to us on offense. Obviously, Urban knows Tim really well, and Tim has got a great history of winning. Urban really believes he can help us, and I think it makes a lot of sense, and it's a position where we need to get better, end quote. Does that not sound like Tim Tebow's going to be on the team to you?
All I know is thank God for Trevor Lawrence, Tim Tebow's number is 15 because he'd have to give up his number. Because Tim Tebow's coming. That is coming. You're right. The way they're speaking about it, the way Urban said, it's going to be tough for him. Like, what do you mean going to be? That's a future reference. And then those comments, he's been working out with us. That means multiple times.
Sounds like he's already on the roster. What do they have, like 90 off-season roster spots? Do we know if Tebow doesn't already have one of those?
I don't know that he already has one, but what it sounds like to me is he's been quietly working out with them, trying to sort of cram for the exam, if you will, get
for training camp.
Sort of get back up to speed so that when they do kind of get everybody back on the field, people aren't going like, okay, this is a total publicity stunt. Look at this guy. This guy has no idea where he's going, has no idea how to block, has no idea, doesn't understand the leverage of blocking because he's never done it before. He doesn't run. Look, Tim Tebow could run around and put his head down and run over you if you were a 225-pound safety, but can Tim Tebow run routes? Can he get open against? And
how's his hand? His hands.
This is so stupid.
I mean, to me, and again, I love me some Tim Tebow. I'm probably his biggest fan in the media, all right? But not even I thinks Tim Tebow can be an adequate, even a backup tight end in the NFL. I mean, first of all, the guy's not that big. I mean, he's big compared to us, but he's like, what's Tebow's size? 6'3", what is he, 6'3", 6'2", 240 maybe? That's undersized for a tight end in the NFL. Tebow, when he was a quarterback, yeah, he was a running quarterback, but he was not like Michael Vick a runner. He was a fullback playing quarterback. In fact, his 40 time, I believe, at the Combine, and this was when he was 23 years old and not 34 years old. I think his combo time was like 4.7 something in the 40, which you have to believe he's not that fast now.
Mike Vick just ran that, and he's like 40.
Okay, but and Tim Tebow's 34. He's probably a 4.8 something in the 40 now. So, again, undersized, slow tight end? Come on.
Listen, folks in Jacksonville, get your season tickets. Look, if you're not excited about Trevor Lawrence, maybe you'll be excited about Tim Tebow. It honestly makes zero sense. And for a guy who has detached himself from that decision, sounds like Urban Meyer had some strong opinions on it when discussing it with the what was he, the chief of scouting,
chief football
operations,
whatever. Tony Shod's job. I mean,
Tony Khan.
Tony Khan. Well, whatever.
Yeah. Tony Khan is the chief football strategy officer.
Yeah. And, Urban feels like this guy can help us win. Why is Urban saying that? Well, I mean, if Urban's not seeing him work out, how does Urban even know he can help him win?
If you want Tim Tebow on your team, make him a part of your staff. Make him, give him a title like chief football. Yeah, make him the chief football strategy co-officer or something. I mean, good grief. I think that if Tim Tebow's really, if he doesn't belong on the roster as a tight end, this could hurt Urban Meyer's credibility in the locker room. It really could. Well, I don't think it's a good idea.
And listen, is it any surprise that there's only one team in this league even interested in the idea of bringing Tim Tebow in as a tight end? Mm-hmm. And it happens to be the one in his hometown that would love to sell tickets. And it has his former college football coach in Urban Meyer. It ain't like the Raiders are like banging down. Hey Tim, what are you up to? We got our last guy out of the booth. We got our head coach out of the booth.
The Jaguars don't need to sell tickets anymore. They've got Trevor Lawrence to sell tickets now. They've got Urban Meyer as the head coach. They've got buzz. They don't. Tim Tebow's, is he going to sell any more tickets? I don't know.
They should have waited 2 years to do this when all the buzz from Trevor Lawrence is gone and they've gone 8-8.
They should.
Urban thinks
they should have done it 10 years ago. They should have done it 10 years ago.
Urban thinks he's in college still. He's like trying to win a recruiting battle. Like this thing recruiting, okay? It ain't about getting the most popular guy in the country and Tim Tebow. You need to get the best football players. Tim Tebow hasn't played in 10 years. Has never played this position. Has spent all of his time here in the last some odd years, part-timing in baseball and doing this. It just makes absolutely zero. There isn't another tight end on the face of this planet right now that you don't think can help you win better than Tim Tebow. Then I got real questions about your scouting department.
It just sounds like something was going on in college, and Urban was like, listen, as soon as I make it to the league, don't worry, I got you. And then once he made it, he made that call. Tim was like, hey, I heard you made it. And Urban's like, oh, here we go.
It will really hurt Urban Meyer's credibility in that locker room if Tim Tebow's just some below average tight end on the roster simply because he's Urban Meyer's favorite college player. I mean, Adam's right. It makes no sense. Right around the corner, we got a little NASCAR report coming up. Also, want to get into another college football story that's coming your way next on Open Mic.
96.9 The Game FM.
Spontaneous text question of the day in relation to Oakland A's pitcher Jesus Luzardo breaking his pinky finger while playing a video game and going on the injured list. Weirdest sports injuries. The weirdest Orlando Magic sports injury I can remember was several years ago when you guys probably don't remember Drew Gooden, but Drew Gooden, he came out of Kansas. He played for the Magic, and Drew Gooden had to sit out a few games. I don't know, maybe in 2 or 3 games with infected hair follicles. Hair follicles. And when he had to sit out these games, I did a story on it, and the gist of my story was I called Jack Youngblood, who lived in Orlando at the time. I called Jack Youngblood, who obviously played football with a broken leg in the playoffs. And I asked Jack Youngblood about had he ever, sat out a game with maybe some infected hair follicles. And I'll never forget when I asked him the question, he didn't even answer the question. He just, if you know Jack Youngblood, he had this real deep, manly voice. He just started laughing in that deep, he just started laughing. Yeah. Infected hair follicles.
I talked to Jack Youngblood on the phone like twice in my life and never met him in person, but I could tell I was talking to like a grown man. Like that was like a man on the other side of it because of the voice and you knew the story of him playing in the NFL with a broken leg. Was it the Super Bowl or was it just the playoffs? But you knew these stories, and then the guy gets on the phone and but it's like this deep and it's. And he was doing the ironic thing was he was doing like commercials for like Florida milk, and I always thought that was so funny because this is a guy who played on the broken leg. I was like, "Is milk supposed to strengthen your bones?"
Yeah, calcium. That's right.
If I had more Florida milk in my system, I wouldn't have played with a broken leg.
Grown man. There.
Okay, people are texting in Plaxico Burress when he shot himself. Yeah, Jason Pierre-Paul when he fireworks blew a couple of his fingers off. Who will ever forget the Antonio Brown when he froze his feet
on purpose?
Yeah, absolutely, it was on purpose.
No, first of all, nobody freezes their feet with negative 500 degrees on purpose.
Hey, someone wanted out of Las Vegas. Okay, we didn't want to play for the Raiders.
I don't know. I made one like walk.
That looked like one of the most painful injuries ever. That skin on his feet was peeled. Oh, that hurt. Oh, my God. Wow. All right, let's do a little front page of the internet.
What you reading there, honey?
It's very exciting stuff, you see. It's the front page of the internet.
Here we go with the front page of the internet this morning. We start off on YouTube's trending page, where the number one video on YouTube's trending page comes from creator Ryan Trahan, who is spending an entire week surviving on one single penny. Now, I know that sounds extreme. What he means is he started with 1 penny, and he bought a pen, and then he sold that pen for $1, and he's building up his wealth off of 1 penny, and then surviving off of whatever money he makes. So he's taking jobs where he raked leaves for $10. He's on Craigslist finding these odd jobs that he's able to do, handyman type stuff. He's on day 2. Guess how much money he has accumulated?
What, just from doing odd jobs?
Odd jobs and trading and all that sort of stuff. What's he up to?
And how long has he been doing this for?
2 days.
He's up to $140.
$300.
Wow, you guys are really hopeful. No, he's up to $67.59.
This would be so much better if he wasn't allowed to catch odd jobs. There have been people that have traded all the way up from like a paper clip.
Yep.
To like a brand new boat or something like that, or a brand new car.
That was a hot TikTok. Not in 2 days. But that was a hot TikTok trend for a while. Is I'm going to take this paper clip and I'm going to trade it up to a house.
There was a guy who ended up trading and ended up with like a snow globe. And turns out that I think it's Corbin Bernsen. Remember the actor from L.A. Law, Mike? And he also was like a big collector of snow globes. And so the guy traded this snow globe. It was like a rare snow globe to Corbin for like a part in a movie or something crazy. Yeah, I mean, so you hear like these cool. This guy's like So this guy's just catching odd jobs, and then in the middle of it, like, hey, I'll buy that pen for a penny.
I remember reading a story. I remember reading a story a couple years ago. It was about you know how you see these guys maybe in the Walmart parking lot holding up signs, you know, homeless, you know. So and you give them $5 or something, and so. Somebody followed this guy home, or he lived in like a gated community. And yeah, he was essentially making a bunch of money by panhandling. Yeah,
probably not paying his taxes either.
Right.
This video is also doing a fundraiser for the Central Texas Food Bank, so you can donate to the creator, which then goes directly to the Central Texas Food Bank. He has raised $2,335 for the Central Texas Food Bank. So good job. Good for him. Happy birthday today to the current Superman, Henry Cavill.
Henry Cavill. I still think Christopher Reeve is a...
Yep. That's exactly why I called for this guy.
I'm going to go Henry Ravel is...
Henry Ravel?
Henry Gavel. My Gavel.
I have no idea who Henry Gavel is. I'm going to go 43.
Harry Travels is 36.
He's 38 years old. You guys suck. Trending on Twitter this morning is the photo of President and First Lady Biden with the Carters, with President Carter and his wife,
Rosalind.
Thank you. And people are talking about it because Joe Biden and Jill Biden look like giants in this photo, and people are questioning why they look the way that they do. Apparently, experts say it's because it was a wide-angle lens in a tight space, so it caused the people on the sides to look even bigger than they actually do. So people are talking about that. And then also trending on Reddit, the Ask Reddit subreddit asks this question: what was your biggest / most regrettable, it's not a phase, Mom, it's my life, that in fact did turn out to be just a phase and not your actual life? And people are coming up with really great answers. Do you guys have any that jump out to your mind? Mom, it's not a phase moments?
For me, myself, or for other
you,
people?
Yeah, for you.
No, I've never had a phase. This has always been my life. This has always been my
Arkansas wasn't a phase?
Yeah, I have one of those. It was when I was a teenager, and I was in the bathroom. You know what I was doing in the bathroom.
I was taking a shower.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't taking a shower. But my mom walked in as I was, you know what? Yeah.
What does this have to do with anything?
That's a phase.
It was a phase I was going through.
Oh,
yeah.
She thought there was something wrong with it.
And what a great mom she was. She walks in the bathroom. I did not lock the door for whatever reason. She walks in the bathroom, sees what I'm doing, and just turns around and walks right back out and never said a word about it.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. By the way, this subject here, I think about almost every day if I see somebody who's got like the formerly gauged ears. Like if you've gauged your ears and like that was a thing you were into, listen, more power to you. But understand, if you grow out of that phase, you got this whole other phase. It's called dangly ear phase that you're going through, okay? Dangly, holy earlobe phase, okay? And that's a much more difficult phase of your life to go through, okay? Because that requires surgery to get out of that phase.
Absolutely. A couple of the top ones were pro wrestler. People have talked about wanting to be a pro wrestler.
How about following pro wrestling? That was a phase in my life.
Get out of here!
Yeah.
I mean, most people grow
Unless
out
you're
of that.
Brandon Kravitz and Austin Pistolka.
And the tramp stamp. All right, that's the front page of the internet. Goodness gracious.
All right, let's pause for station identification.
WYGM Orlando, WJRR HD2 Cocoa Beach, FM 96.9 The Game, the home of Orlando City Soccer Club.
All right, birthday candles versus new tires. Here they come off. Turn 4 for the win. For the first time this year, Kyle Busch goes to victory lane. He wins the Bushy McBush Race 400.
Wow. Happy birthday, Kyle. Great job. Kevin Harvick coming from clear back there. And poor Kyle Larson. What a heartbreak for him.
My buddy. Nobody knows NASCAR like our buddy does.
Hey there, buddy, chum, pal, friend, buddy, pal, chum, bud, friend, fellow, brother, amigo, pal, buddy, friend, chummy, chum, chum, pal.
Here's Orlando sports TV legend, Buddy Pittman.
Buddy, Kyle Busch, happy birthday, 36 years old. He wins the race on his birthday at Kansas Speedway. First win of the year for Kyle Busch. He was a little emotional after that victory, buddy.
Well, I think he probably should be, Mike. I mean, this has not been the best. Last year was a tough year for him as well. It took him all the way till the 34th race of the season to get a win last year. And they were starting out kind of rocky again this year, and they were kind of wondering, when's the ship going to get righted, when they're going to get in the right direction. And so I think there's a lot of relief and a lot, not only for Kyle Busch, but for that team with the new crew chief, Ben Beshore, being able to come in and get a win here this early in the season for them with that new combination. I think there was a lot of pressure on that team to start performing and start getting back to the Kyle Busch that everyone expects to be competitive and be running up front every weekend. So this was a huge win for him. Like you say, Mike, wins on his 36th birthday, and he is only the third NASCAR driver in history to have won a NASCAR race on his birthday when they ran on his birthday. Ron Hornaday won a Truck Series race at Milwaukee on his 51st birthday back in 2009, but in the Cup Series, only 3 guys have won actually on their birthdays.
Richard Petty on July 4th? No?
No, Richard Petty's birthday's on July 2nd.
David Pearson.
Close. Nope. Guess again.
Dale Earnhardt Sr.
Nope. Not him either. The
Jimmy
3 drivers
Johnson.
who have won. Nope. Not him either.
Okay.
The 3 drivers who've won on their birthday. Cale Yardberger did it twice. His birthday's March 27th. He won it in 1977. On his birthday, and then repeated defeat again at Atlanta in 1983. Kyle Busch then was the second to do it with his birthday of May the 2nd. He did that at Richmond in 2009. Matt Kenseth is the third driver to have done it. He won at Las Vegas on March 10th, his birthday in 2013, and now Kyle Busch becomes the second driver to do it twice, winning on his birthday. So whenever they've raced on Kyle Busch's birthday, he's never lost. So that's a good sign for him.
Buddy, I don't know if you saw Kyle Busch's post-race interview, but he was emotional, talking about how he and his wife have been having fertility issues, and man, he sounded like he almost gave up racing at one point.
Well, it's been I think that's something that a lot of people forget about sometimes. They just know the persona of particularly like a Kyle Busch and his persona, the guy that wears the black hat and all that kind of stuff. And they forget that these are people and they have personal lives and they have the same challenges that a lot of people do that they have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. And I think this was just Kyle kind of wearing a lot of that on his sleeve, so to speak, and just putting it out there and just everything. Like I say, there was a lot of pressure on him to perform this season and a lot of pressure on that race team, but also a lot of pressure in his personal life that he was dealing with. And I think it all kind of came together there on Sunday, and kind of a rare moment to see that kind of emotion and that kind of personal insight coming out of Kyle Busch, particularly in a public setting like that.
Did you know that Kyle Busch, with that win, all right, that was his 17th straight season with a victory. He tied David Pearson for second on the all-time list, and he's within one of the king himself, Richard Petty, who had 18 straight seasons.
That's exactly right, Mikey. You've done your research. Good job. Yeah, that's exactly right. He's one of only.
Actually, I read the Associated Press story about the race is what I did, buddy.
Oh, okay. But that's research. That's research.
Man, he has been Mr. Consistency, though, hasn't he?
Well, he has been. You stop and look at this race this past weekend. His average running position throughout the whole race, he led 20 laps in the race, but his average running position throughout the whole day, throughout the whole race, was 3.7. So he was competitive all day, and you just kind of knew this was maybe going to be the spot where he finally gets this ship righted. Like I say, it was a new crew chief, Ben Beshore, who got his first win as a crew chief. When he came over to Joe Gibbs, he was with Adam Stevens is a crew chief. They had 28 races, won 28 races over a 6-year span and 2 titles. So everyone was kind of wondering what was going to happen when the new crew chief came in. And so far they've had pretty good success with Ben Bayshore. And I think you're going to see more wins out of Kyle Busch in them now because, momentum's a big thing in this sport. And these guys now have that monkey off their shoulders and have a little momentum to build off of. So good for Kyle Busch. I think all the stars lined up, and finally we've gotten that question of when is Kyle Busch. Now the question remains, when is Denny Hamlin going to win? This, by the way, was Kyle Busch's 58th win and ties him with Kevin Harvick for 9th on the all-time wins list as well.
Hey, buddy, I wanted to ask you about this. Even though Bobby Unser, obviously known for IndyCar racing, he won 3 Indianapolis 500s. He passes away over the weekend at the age of 87. Did he have any NASCAR experiences, and what's his legacy as an IndyCar driver?
Well, yeah, Mike, he did actually start 4 Cup races in his career. Never had any wins, but did actually run in 4 NASCAR Cup Series races. But Mike, it's just like in NASCAR, there's royalty names like Petty and Earnhardt and the Wood brothers and people like that. Well, in IndyCar racing, it's Unser, Andretti, Foyt. Those are the guys that are the royalty in the sport. And Bobby Unser was a 3-time Indy 500 winner. And by the way, that Unser family, there were 6 members of the Unser family. A lot of people may not know this. 6 members that actually have run in an Indy 500 race. So that was
his brother Al Unser was really good, right?
Yep, his brother Al Unser was a 4-time Indy 500 winner. Al Jr. Was a 2-time Indy 500 winner, and there were a couple of other brothers who actually ran in the Indy 500. In fact, his brother Jerry died at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in a practice crash back in 1959. So, but the Unsers, he's like I say, the Unser family, it doesn't get much bigger than that when it comes to IndyCar racing. He's in the Indy Hall of Fame, the International Motorsports Hall of Fame, the Motorsports Hall of Fame of America, which is over in Daytona Beach. He is certainly recognized as one of the kings of that sport, and the name Unser will always be one of the top names when it comes to IndyCar racing.
Hey, buddy, real quick, I was over in Daytona over the weekend, and we were talking about, the history of racing on the beach and all of that stuff. What were they actually racing in Daytona before NASCAR was officially founded, when the France family sort of founded NASCAR? Why did Daytona become like the founding spot? Is that just where the Frances lived?
Well, actually, it actually started when the Ormond Hotel up in Ormond. The folks would come down with their new cars at that time. They would come down on the train. It's kind of the early version of the auto train. They would come down and stay at the Ormond Hotel. They had these new things called a fancy car, and they were looking for a place to drive them because there wasn't a lot of roads. So they took them out on the beach, and they found that, the tires didn't sink into the sand when they started driving their cars out there. And that kind of then led to time trials and these race records being set on the beach with the Bluebird and all of those kind of things. And then that transformed when it got so fast that they didn't like people racing on the beach there in Ormond. That's when they moved it down to Daytona. So, yeah, they were racing stock cars on the beach before Bill France got there. Bill France actually came down here for one of the races. He wanted to move his family down here, moved down here with $100 in his pocket and his family with the dream of being part of racing. He opened a repair shop, kind of a gasoline station type place in Daytona Beach. And actually, the races in Daytona were kind of struggling at the time, the ones on the beach. And Bill France got involved and became the promoter that really helped turn things around and helped bring some of the popularity back to the racing on the beach. And then, of course, as we know, went on in 1949, they had that big meeting at the Streamline Hotel, brought people together, and then that formed the nucleus of what NASCAR was going to be, and they kind of knew Bill France was the guy to lead it. So that's kind of the timeline of how the racing developed in Daytona. But, yeah, they were racing on the beach before Bill France, but by golly, he took it to the next level.
Buddy, real quick, what do we have to look forward to at Throwback Weekend at Darlington this weekend?
Well, it should be a good one. Like I say, Darlington's always a challenge for these guys. They call it the track too tough to tame, and they call it the Lady in Black. And the reason that they actually call it the Lady in Black, Mike, was because back years ago in the early stages, on the night before the race, the track crew would put down all over the track would put down a new asphalt sealant. And it made the track actually look black when they put that new sealant on there. That's how it got the name the Lady in Black from years and years ago. And this is, of course, the same track that is that odd kind of oval egg shape because of the Menopon down at one end that they could not disturb when they built it. So the Menopon had to make one end very tight, which makes it very difficult for these guys to set their race cars up when both ends of the track are very difficult. David Pearson, your all-time winner there with 10 wins. Your favorite this weekend, if you're going to pick one, has got to be Denny Hamlin. He has an average finish of 6.2 there. He's 11-2 favorite with the guys in Vegas. So look for maybe this to be the weekend that Denny Hamlin answers that question of when is he finally going to get back to victory lane after a great start to the season. You know, he's had top 5 finishes the whole time. The only 2 races other than this past weekend that he didn't have a top 5 is when he had speeding penalties at tracks that he had to overcome and finished outside the top 5. So it's going to be a good weekend. Throwback weekend is always great to see all the old paint schemes, and you throw it on a track like Darlington that is so tough and so challenging for these guys. Once again, tire wear is going to be a big issue. These guys will be taking tires every opportunity that they have, so tire management will be big. So it should be an exciting weekend. And you know, Mike, very quickly I'll mention that one interesting note, for the past 3 weekends in television ratings, the NASCAR numbers have been increased over previous years.
Oh,
so
nice.
NASCAR is in somewhat seeing a bit of a resurgence here for the past 3 weekends. In fact, this past weekend, the numbers were up 26% over last year. Now, of course, you have to kind of remember we had the COVID thing last year and things were kind of jumbled, so that has an effect on it. But for 3 straight weeks, NASCAR numbers have been climbing, and throughout the whole season, they've seen improvements at almost every week of the TV numbers and that sort of thing. So that's encouraging and hopefully something that NASCAR can build on.
Buddy Pittman, not only does he know today's NASCAR, he also gave us a little history lesson today on Daytona racing. Buddy, we always appreciate it. Thank you.
Mike, my pleasure. Have a great week.
All right, straight ahead, we're going to do a little sound off, but first your chance at $1,000.
Now, here's your chance to win
McDonald's.com to complete your application. Get a free combo meal after your interview. Hiring week is happening now at your Central Florida McDonald's. What do we have, Kelly?
Sound off. He's amazing. I mean, everybody's described him in so many different ways. I've been fortunate to see him for 8 years do a lot of things that are superhuman at times. Point guards don't do what he does. They're not built that way. There might be some that can probably shoot better. There might be some that probably can do certain things better, but there's nobody in the history of the game that can do what he does throughout the stat sheet. I used to always say he's going to probably go down as the third best point guard ever. But I think he's past one, and he's going to go down as probably the second best. One is obviously Magic. What he does, there's no point guard has ever done it. Nobody. And for him to average 4 triple-doubles in 5 years, what Oscar said about him was, to me, that was real.
The Wizards head coach Scott Brooks talking about his guy Russell Westbrook. Mike, listen, it's hard to disagree with them. It's hard.
No, and I'm glad he mentioned people. He's done things on the stat sheet that no point guard has ever done. And he's right about that. Statistically, he probably is the great, hell, statistically, he might be the greatest point guard of all time. But there's more to being the best of all time than statistics. All right, Tom Brady is the GOAT, all right? But is he the all-time leading passer in league history? I don't think so. Is he? He might be. I don't know. Maybe it's Drew Brees. Anyway, doesn't matter. There's more to sports than statistics. Russell Westbrook is great. Athletically, he's great. Statistically, he's great. The one knock on him, actually, there's 2 knocks on him. He hasn't won a championship, and does he make those around him better? That's what great point guards do. They make everybody else better, and I'm not so sure Russell Westbrook does that.
Sound off. It's hard. I think for soccer players, it's not that big of a deal. It just extends it another year. But for, people that, I don't know, are wrestlers, track, other sports where, everything is timed perfectly of when you're going to have trials and when you're going to peak. And so I know it probably has to make it incredibly difficult for some of those athletes.
Carly Lloyd, Gotham FC, just talking about how uncertain this next upcoming Olympics are. Adam, what's going on?
Well, I'm assuming, what is she talking about? The COVID issues and people trying to prepare for the Olympic. Yeah, because we always had the Olympic trials and things like that where you kind of have, you were on this normal schedule to get your body ready and get yourself trained and prepared for this one moment, whether that was swimming, track and field, to be at your peak, to be at your best, to make the Olympic team. Soccer, they're playing year-round professionally. Most of the high-end sprinters are, but as she mentioned, wrestlers, I don't know if there's like a professional wrestlers tour that's not professional wrestling. I mean, like actual professional wrestlers, like real-life wrestlers. So it must be difficult for those folks. And so there may be guys that you expect to make the U.S. Olympic. As a matter of fact, I think I read there was a very famous Olympic wrestler who was knocked out of the Olympic trials.
Jordan Burroughs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Was beaten by a guy, and that may be because, body clock and timing was just off. And so, we may end up with guys on the Olympic boxing teams or the Olympic wrestling teams that weren't expected to be there. They were just the right guy at the right place at the right time when the best guys weren't quite at their best.
Sound off. Jimmy's definitely our starter right now, and right now there isn't competition because I don't believe Trey would be in a position to compete. Jimmy is too good of a player. He's got too good of a grasp of our offense. I'm not going to sit here and say I'll never play a rookie quarterback, and I'm not going to sit here and say I will play him. That's kind of up to him. When he's ready to compete, which that doesn't mean he tells me. That doesn't mean I tell him, hey, we'll all see it. And I think it'll start with me, but it'll go to the coaches, it'll go to the players. And guys know when a guy's ready to compete with a starter, and you kind of get that vibe.
Niners head coach Kyle Shanahan just lying through his teeth, Mike, saying Jimmy G is the starter. What are you thinking?
Well, Jimmy G may start the first game, but come on, you don't move up and draft Trey Lance third overall, and he's not going to be your starting quarterback. Jimmy G may start to see. I'll compare it to another number 3 overall draft pick. All right, very familiar right here in Orlando. The Jacksonville Jaguars several years ago drafted Blake Bortles out of UCF, number 3 overall, and the coach at the time was Gus Bradley, and he goes, I believe Chad Henne was on the Jaguars roster. Chad Henne's going to start, and, Blake Bortles he'll start whenever the time is right. Well, Blake Bortles was starting within a matter of games, all right? You don't draft a guy that high and leave him on the bench.
Sound off.
The Yankees crowd giving it to Altuve. Man, listen, Adam, I love it.
Why are they bleeping out the word welcome, Altuve? Welcome, Altuve. Well, I mean, at the end, baseball is one of those sports where, like, cheating is acceptable
until you get caught.
To a point.
No, until you're hitting trash cans.
Yeah, I mean, to a point. And, obviously fans in New York are maybe the most passionate about baseball. And, Altuve was wasn't Altuve this great story we could tell our little undersized children about hard work and, if you put your mind to things, no matter what, you can. I mean, he's like a Disney movie, It turns out the guy cheated to become good.
Yeah, Yankees fans didn't have any problem when the A-Rod was leading their team to the pennant, did they? Huh?
That's different, Mike. That's different.
Sound off. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the sound off for today. Mike?
All right, straight ahead, we're going to get back into some NFL talk. Also, remember the what was that elite soccer league, the European Super League?
Yeah.
There may be a Super Golf League coming up. We'll get into that story next on Open Mic.
Open Mic. We'll be back in a couple minutes.
I'm sorry. Extremely sorry.
This story is
Looking for a job in the city. Searching for a man every night and day.
Searching for a man?
Yeah, I don't know.
Working for the man every night.
Working for the man every night and day. There you go.
Hey, bro, come on now, dog.
Come on, dog.
Come on.
All right, our spontaneous text question in relation to Oakland A's pitcher Jesus Luzardo breaking his pinky finger while playing a video game and going on the injured list. Weirdest sports injuries. Somebody texted in Gus Frerotte headbutting the wall in celebration.
That's a great one.
And getting a concussion. Yeah.
What about Martin Gramatica? Or is it Bill Gramatica?
It was Bill Gramatica. Bill Gramatica, he was the Bucks kicker. Remember, he was celebrating a field goal and he tore his ACL while celebrating. Yeah.
Was he with the Bucks or was that Bill who was with the Cardinals?
Actually, I don't remember.
It was one of the Grams.
I do remember it was Bill Gramatica, though. Yeah. Somebody texted in D'Angelo Hall's ACL injury, slipping in a kitchen, getting a midnight pizza snack.
One we could all relate to.
Was it Tony Finau who hit a hole in one and was celebrating running down and he dislocated his ankle? You remember that?
Yeah, it was so disgusting.
Luke Longley dislocating his shoulder while body surfing.
Oh.
We've gotten a bunch of Plaxico Burress shooting himself, and of course the Jason Pierre-Paul and the fireworks mishap. Ooh, that was bad. All right, do we still have Tennessee Mark on line one?
Yes, we do.
Tennessee Mark, what's up?
Hey, I just got to ask you, who's your favorite little rascal, Alfalfa or Spanky?
Incredible. Oh my gosh, incredible.
As quickly as he's in, he's out of there.
How long did he wait on hold for that?
He called in twice.
He called in twice.
He called in when Buddy was here.
Dude, if that guy doesn't get nominated for the Mikey for Caller of the Year, I don't know what deserves it.
Was he referring to the story about my mom earlier?
Yes, that is exactly the story he was referencing.
Wow, Spanky. Actually, I liked buckwheat was my favorite, okay?
Sure, the fashions in the 70s would dictate.
All right. Well, what do we want to get to this segment? Hey, we haven't even mentioned the Magic. They play tonight. You know who's going to be back in town tonight?
The head coach, baby.
Well, Steve Clifford, but Evan Fournier making his return to Orlando, coming in with the Boston Celtics. We don't have to worry about the Magic. There should be no problem with the Magic losing this one tonight because the Celtics are actually in the playoff hunt. They're trying to get into the top 6 in the Eastern Conference so they can avoid the play-in tournament. Boston is, let me look at there. Boston is 34-31. They're currently in 7th in the East, which means they would be in the play-in, but they're only 3 games behind Kelly Velez's Knicks, who are in the 4th spot. They're a game and a half behind the number 5 Atlanta Hawks, and only a half game behind the number 6 Miami Heat. So the Celtics trying to get into the top 6. So they should beat the Magic handily tonight, which is good. Right? We want that.
Well,
listen, have you seen the vendetta that players and Magic brass have had on Twitter against fans arguing that, why are you trying to win, all this sort of stuff? Even Dante Marchitelli.
I know hadn't RJ Hampton been going at it with some fans?
RJ Hampton, Cole Anthony was coming after some people, but then even Dante Marchitelli was like spitting straight fire. He tweeted out about how
give me some Dante Marchitelli tweets.
Dante Marchitelli tweeted yesterday about who the percentages for the 2019 NBA draft, saying the top 3 were the Knicks, Cleveland, where 14%, and then who ended up getting the first couple picks. It was New Orleans with 6% possible chance, and then and he was just like, talk to me when it's guaranteed that we get the top pick, basically. Dante Marcatelli coming after people.
Wow. Well, I mean, there is a difference in percentages. So, and again, I understand what Dante's saying, but if you finish in the bottom three, your percentages are higher than if you finish fourth and then fifth. And the Magic right now are in the what are they in the fifth spot now, or tied for fourth? Are they still tied for fourth?
I don't know. I don't have it up in front of me.
Remind me to never sit at a blackjack table with Dante Marcatelli, who, percentages and odds obviously means nothing to. There's no guarantee that the dealer's going to bust, so I'm going to hit on 17. No, you're not. Not at my table, you ain't.
Yeah, the dealer's showing a 6, and you're showing you've got a 4 up, and you got 14. You're gonna hit. No, you stick with that.
There's no guarantee that that's going to be a 10 underneath there. There's no guarantee.
Although you would hate playing blackjack with me. When I start getting hot in blackjack, that's when I go unorthodox and I'll split my kings. If the dealer's showing a 6 or something, I'll split my kings to try to win the one.
Yeah, that's right.
No,
you hate that, don't you?
Yeah. Well, I've learned I can price those players out depending on what table I'm playing at. That happens that happens at the $10 a hand table. Guys splitting their kings or their tens and stuff like that. Normally, you get to the $100 table, and people don't do that at the $100 table.
I don't know how to play blackjack. I'm going to be 100% honest. I know how to.
Not very complicated.
I know how to. I don't know how to win blackjack. Okay, all I know is I'm going to put money down, and then eventually I'm going to go, and someone's going to go, no, don't do that.
Oh my God!
Also, just at the table, hit me.
By the way, players that play like that are at the $5 table right there.
Yeah,
I have no idea what I'm doing here.
I don't know what I'm doing.
What should I do? Should I hit this? I do ask. Sometimes I ask the dealer, like if I'm, if I've got, a certain situation where you ask the dealer, like, what does the book say here? And they're like, you split that, you hit that, once in a while.
Yeah, I always love, like, if I'll split my kings or something. You always get, like, the purists, like Adam Reardon. They're just like, oh, my God, what are you doing?
What happens when you come out on top?
No, it's the worst thing you can do at the table is play, like, this unorthodox game, and then you win, and then the 4 guys behind you now lose, and then when everybody can look at the cards and go, that would have been mine, that would have been his, and we all would have won.
As long as I win.
Yeah.
And when you play unorthodox, you get the dealer on his heels. He doesn't know what's coming at him.
He has no idea.
He doesn't know whether he should take that next card off the top or take that next card off the top. He's got no idea what to do. Hey, listen, I play with guys who will stop the game midstream. A guy's like, okay, I'll take it, and he'll stop it. I mean, Chris will stop and go, no, you don't hit there. And he will tell the other guy, like, you don't hit there. And the guy's like, but I want to hit. He's like,
the guy looks him dead in the eye and goes, I said, hit me.
Yeah, no.
And then whack out of left field. He gets hit.
All right, straight ahead. I have a great idea. Compliments of Adam Reardon. That's next on Open Mic.
96.9 The Game.
to put the pedal to the floor. It's loud and live and local. Oh, time for open mic.
Welcome back to Open Mic. I'm Mike Bianchi, the Bulldog sports columnist of the Orlando Sentinel, joined as always by Adam Reardon, the deceptive intellect, Austin Pistolka.
Yes! Yes!
Austin Pistolka, the Sultan of Sound.
Yeah.
All right, I'm taking myself out. I don't want to be a part of that. That'll be the last time I do it.
You're in.
No, I'm out.
Great.
I was in. Now I'm out. No.
And of course, the Prince of Production, Kelly Velez, is still auditioning. Yeah,
way out now. I don't want to be lumped in with you guys.
You did the whole motion and everything. It was,
I know.
I
Beautiful. That's all because we're on video. That's all.
Yeah. You can listen to us on FM 96.9 The Game, AM 740, HD 101.1-2. You can also watch us live and in color. Just go to the YouTube machine and search for Open Mic Live Stream, and there we are. Ready to entertain and inform you. Also ready to give you a chance to win some cash. Next chance to win $1,000. That's coming up at 8:10 a.m. this morning. We call it the Game Day Payday. Listen for the keyword. When you hear it, head to our website, text it in, and you can win $1,000. Compliments of International Diamond Center. Our spontaneous text question of the day. Weird
text question of the day.
Weird sports injury. Somebody just texted in. You can text in yours to 50857. This is, of course, in regards to the pitcher whose name I don't have in front of me right now. He's the Oakland A's pitcher who broke his finger the other day, broke his pinky while playing a video game, and now he's on the injured list.
So hold on, do we know what video game he was playing?
The story I read, it did not say which video game. He evidently slammed his pinky.
So he was mad. He slammed his controller down, and
I don't know what exactly he was doing, but he injured his pinky playing a video game. Goodness. Somebody just texted in. I don't remember this one. You guys might remember it because you guys are of the hip hop generation. Tony Parker, minding his own business at dinner, had his eye injured when Chris Brown and Drake got into a fight over Rihanna. Is that true?
Yeah. It was like glass flying. I think it hit him somewhere.
Yeah.
I do remember that.
Wow, I don't remember that one. So anyway,
she's worth fighting for.
I do have a real quick. I do have a question. I have an OK Boomer question about the sort of the hip hop generation.
What is an OK Boomer?
Okay, so here's the Boomer question. All right, so you know the style, and it's been a style for a long time where your pants are down low and your underwear showing in the back.
Yeah.
How do you keep the pants from falling down altogether?
Belt.
Thank you.
Belt, really tight, and then I think you're forced to sort of walk with a little bit wider gait. Also,
is that right?
To sort of make sure that they don't slip off, because I mean you have
so there's traditionally a belt involved with that style.
Always 99% of the time there's a belt involved.
Also, you think about it, it's just the angle, as opposed to it being just straight. You're just shifting the angle a little bit, so it's still like around your hips. So there's a little bit of structure there. It's not fully sagging all the way down.
Man, I'm glad you asked this. Not
I always find this to be.
I don't understand it.
You came in here sagging today. What are you talking about?
I always find this to be like the biggest argument old people have that means absolutely. At the end of the day, if it's their underwear, boxers, whatever, a pair of gym shorts I've seen. What do you care if you're looking at denim or cotton or cloth. I mean, like as long as it's not just straight cheeks, you know what I mean? Like if it's straight cheeks, like if they're commando underneath there, I get where you'd be like, oh, this looks ridiculous. I want to see this guy's cheeks. I don't want to see this.
Listen, we want no cheeks and no streaks. Okay,
yeah, that's right. Yeah, those are the only 2 rules. That's great, fantastic. Wow. Other than that, what do I care if you got a pair of gym shorts underneath there? What do I care? It's something for me to be upset about. I'm trying not to be upset in my lifetime.
All right, so I brought this up early this morning thinking it was my idea, but once again, I pilfered it from Adam Reardon. As I'm watching the ESPN debate shows yesterday, they're going crazy over this Aaron Rodgers demanding he wants out of Green Bay. It's been a story since draft night, and so I was thinking yesterday, I thought it was an original thought. I was thinking, well, why not the Dolphins? Why don't the Dolphins try to make a deal? So I wrote it down. Hey, the Dolphins, they've got multiple first-round draft picks in the next couple of years. I wrote it down as a topic for today's show. So I brought it up early this morning. I've come up with a great idea. And Adam Reardon tells me what, Adam?
I said, bro, we talked about that the day after the draft. I brought that. That's my idea. Hold on. I mean, we're like 2 in a span of 2 weeks here. You know, the Kyle Trask to Tampa that you pilfered from me. I actually had somebody, Facebook message me and say, "Man, Bianchi hit that right on the head."
Nailed it.
And I go, no. I nailed that right on the head. And then Bianchi, has the larger platform, so it looks like and this was going to be the same thing. I'm telling you what, if I see you write an article in Vogue or GQ next week that says, just as long as there's no cheeks and no streaks, then I'm going to know that you steal everything from this show. That's it. That's it.
Quick timeout, though, okay? Mike does this with Mark's show all the time, but Mark isn't on with us to call him out.
Yeah.
So classic Mike Bianchi.
But he normally gives gives Mark a lot of credit. I see like Mark Daniels said this, Mark Daniels said that. Because Mark, we're gonna know right away. Depending on what he says, like. Hold on, that's a Mark Daniels. That's a Mark Daniels thing. That that's a little bit above our pay grade, if you will, intellectually. But we know that. But yeah, he just tried to slide that in. But listen. Great minds think alike. How about that, Mike? Because if you think you thought it, then that's fine because you and I agree.
We all know there are no original ideas.
In radio, no, there's no question.
Radio, TV, movies, nothing.
Yeah.
But my point on this, my original point on this. Okay. But my unique perspective on this is I don't think Aaron Rodgers is that unhappy with Green Bay's management. I think Aaron Rodgers, who's been in Green Bay his entire career. He's where's he from? He's from California, right? California guy. He's been in the frozen tundra of Green Bay for more than a decade now. He just got engaged to an actress. He's hosting Jeopardy in the off season. This guy wants to go to like NBA players. He wants to go to a major market now. He wants to go have some fun like Tom Brady is late in his career. He wants out of the cold weather. That's why he should go to Miami. South Beach, perfect spot for Aaron and his new bride to be down in South Beach. They could be, the next Marino down there. So again, I think it's a perfect landing spot, and the Dolphins have the draft capital to make it happen. Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't the Dolphins do that? Anyone? Is there any reason they wouldn't do it?
No, we talked about it. For the next 2 drafts, they have 2 first-round picks in each draft. So if you said, listen, we're going to give you our quarterback, who is obviously not as good as Aaron Rodgers, but he's young and, he was a first-round pick. And then we're going to give you a first-round pick next year and a first-round pick the year after that. And then maybe somebody off of I don't even know if you have to include somebody off the defense to help them out.
I'd give them 3 if they wanted 3 first-round picks, I'd give it to them for Aaron Rodgers.
No. I mean, listen, you've got two over the next 2 years, so you'll be like everybody else, selecting once in the first round. It's not like you're going to be naked in the first round, not being able to address a need should one arise. I'm with you. I'm almost trying to think about, okay, at what point could the Green Bay Packers come to you with something and go, okay, that's just too much now. Don't be ridiculous. And Brian Flores? No.
But also, real quick, the Packers have a young quarterback that they believe in, that they drafted in the first round. So why would they take Tua and like?
Well, then throw somebody else in there.
Yeah,
throw somebody else in there. Doesn't have to be Tua. It can be anybody. They want the first round draft.
You know who hates that idea? Tua, because then Tua's in Miami going, wait a minute, what about me? I'm definitely not beating out this Aaron Rodgers guy for the job. Hey, you got to get a three-way deal in, and now we're going to bring in another team, somebody who has Tua.
Yeah.
And now everybody's looking around like, I don't want Tua. What do I want Tua
what
for?
do I want Tua for? Come on now.
Tua suddenly turns into Kyle Trask down in Tampa. All right, let's pause for station identification.
WYGM Orlando, WJRR HD2 Cocoa Beach, W245CL Deltona. This is FM 96.9 The Game. You feel that?
I can feel it.
We're about to blast off.
Just took it to my veins!
It's time for the blast.
It's time for the blast here on Open Mic. The blast brought to you by Frank Gay Services. If you need an electrician or a plumber and you need them right now, go to frankgayservices.com. They will hook you up with all of your electrician and plumber needs. That's frankgayservices.com. Let's start off with Open Mic supplemental poll number 2. Should the Miami Dolphins offer Tua Tagovailoa and multiple future first-round picks to the Green Bay Packers for Aaron Rodgers? Yes, they should, or no, they should not.
Well, I think we've already answered that. By the way, Austin Pistolka, you looked up this morning. Did you say the Dolphins have 4 first-round draft picks in the next 2 years?
Yes,
was that what it was?
Yep, 4.
I'd give them all 4. I'd give them all 4. I'd give them all 4 of those first-round draft picks for Aaron Rodgers, for crying out loud. I mean, Aaron Rodgers might be the best quarterback in the National Football League. What are you going to do with those first-round draft picks? All right? Go get the best quarterback out there and build around him for the next 5 years. Yes, I would definitely do that.
I would do it for sure. And then as I was thinking, we said, well, they've got a quarterback there. Listen, you can bring in Tua, a couple of young quarterbacks, let those guys battle it out, have 2 young quarterbacks that you somebody believed in as first-round picks, and may the best man win to lead your franchise into the future. And, oh, by the way, we got some first-round picks to go with it. So that means Green Bay.
4 of them.
Yeah, Green Bay would then have multiple first-round picks in the next couple of drafts to improve themselves in other positions as well.
63% of the vote says yes, they should.
Of course they should.
So let's go to the Open Mic thought-provoking daily poll, which is this. Will the Jacksonville Jaguars have a winning record in year 1 of the Urban Meyer era? Absolutely yes or positively no?
You know what? I don't know about year 1. But I think Urban Meyer is going to win and win quickly in Jacksonville. He wins and wins quickly no matter where he's at, whether it's at Bowling Green, whether it's at Utah, whether it's at Florida, or whether it's at Ohio State. Urban Meyer takes jobs where he knows he can win quickly. He's a smart guy. Will it be this year? I'm going to go... no, I don't think the Jaguars will go 9-7 this year. I think they might go 7-9 this year, or 6-10. But the year after that, they will be winners in Jacksonville.
I'm going no this season, and no probably the season after that. I mean, if what we know that they're going to do in free agency and talent acquisition includes trying to bring in a guy to play tight end who hasn't played in the NFL for 10 years, who's never played the position. I'm sorry, I'm losing faith in that scouting department quite quickly, okay?
69% of the vote, nice, say no, they will not. Supplemental poll number 1, do you think Tim Tebow can be an NFL caliber tight end, yes or no?
Well, as much as I love me some Timmy Tebow, my favorite athlete of all time is Tim Tebow. But he wasn't good enough, at least according to the experts, to play his preferred position in the National Football League, quarterback, all right? So, no, Tim Tebow cannot play tight end. He can play tight end. He just won't be able to play it very well in the NFL. He will not be an NFL caliber tight end. Why is that? because, first of all, he's not that big for a tight end. He's 6'3". I think I looked it up. 240 pounds in his prime as an NFL player. He ran a 4.71 40-yard dash at the combine when he was 22 years old, all right? That's you got to know he's not nearly that fast now. He's going to be 34 in August. So he's undersized and slow for a tight end. And we don't know if he can even catch the football, for crying out loud. No.
Yeah, I really don't even want to entertain that. I'm I don't want to say attention whore, but Tim Tebow, I don't understand why this is even happening. I really don't understand why this is happening unless it's just some ploy to sell tickets, which then makes Shad Khan and Urban Meyer, all these guys, culpable in entertaining this idea of a player who's never played the position, hasn't played in 10 years, to come in and Mike, you were right earlier in the show. When you listen to the verbiage that's being used in regards to Tim Tebow, it sounds like the guy's on the team, like that, like they're planning on him being a part of it. He's worked out at least multiple times. That's what it sounds like. I think it's unfair to other players who are trying to get into the NFL, who have played tight end, who have been working hard to make it to the end. I hate it, honestly. I just can't stand it, really.
67% of the vote says no, he will not be an NFL caliber tight end. Supplemental poll number 3. Do you agree with Washington Wizards head coach Scott Brooks that Russell Westbrook is the second best point guard of all time? Yes or nope?
Absolutely not. Again, we've talked about this. Statistically, yes. I mean, he's averaged a triple-double 4 times in his career, 4 times in the last 5 years. Only one other player in history has ever done that for 1 season, and that was Oscar Robertson. Russell Westbrook has done it for 4. So statistically, he might be the best point guard of all time, but there's more to being a point guard than statistics. Just like there's more to being a quarterback than just throwing for a bunch of yards. We saw Dan Marino throw for a bunch of yards when he was in the NFL. Was he a great quarterback? Yeah. Was he a great passer? Yeah, but he wasn't the second greatest quarterback of all time. Why? Because he never won a Super Bowl, all right? And Russell Westbrook, you're the quarterback of the team when you're the point guard. That means it's your job to make other players better. I don't know that Russell Westbrook does that.
He's statistically the most gifted point guard of all time. I don't know. I got to stop short of saying he's the second best of all time, because I think part of that in being a point guard is leading your team and leading your team to wins, and he's never been able to do that on the highest of levels. But when you look at his numbers, if this was just blind taste test, like, hey, here's 5 point guards, here are their numbers, which guy do you want on your team? 10 out of 10 GMs would choose Russell Westbrook's numbers.
With 85% of the vote, nope wins this one.
Wow.
Supplemental poll number 4. With Conan O'Brien leaving late-night television, who is the greatest late-night TV host of all time? Is it Johnny Carson, David Letterman, Conan O'Brien, or Jon Stewart? The fact that Jimmy Fallon isn't on this list is upsetting to me.
Well, Jay Leno's not on it either. And let's not forget the great Jack Parr back in the day, okay? Jack Parr. Now, there was a late-night talk show host. All right? Jack Parr. Jack Parr, he wrote the book. He was the original Tonight Show host, Jack Parr. I'm going to go with Johnny Carson. I'm like, come on. You cannot beat Johnny Carson as a late-night talk show host. He is the GOAT of talk. He's like Brady. There's no arguing Johnny Carson on this one.
My favorite was Karnak. Was it Karnak the Magnificent?
Karnak the Magnificent, yeah.
What about Arsenio, man?
How about I used to love he put the thing to his head and he says, Batman, Spider-Man, and Austin Pistolka. And he would take the thing and he'd rip it and he'd blow into the... He'd pull it out and he goes, who are 2 people who wear a mask and one that should?
Incredible! Wow!
I had a best of Johnny Carson VHS tape set that I used to watch. Johnny Carson was amazing, yes. So I'll go with Johnny Carson as well.
I agree with both of you guys, especially because the Johnny Carson School of Theater and Film is at the University of Nebraska.
Ooh.
So, there you go.
Is he a Cornhusker?
He was. Absolutely.
Oh, who knew that? I didn't know that.
One of the most famous Nebraskans of all time.
What about this one?
Behind Tom Osborne.
What about this one? He blows on the envelope and says, Mount Baldy. How do you play piggyback with Telly Savalas?
Nice.
Hey,
no idea who Telly Savalas is. Kojak, baby, Kojak.
I don't know what any of that is. Are you
Mount Baldy?
Okay.
Right.
Don't no idea.
How do you play piggyback with Telly Savalas? You have to mount Baldy. He was bald-headed. Mount Baldy.
Got it. All right. I understand now. 63% of the vote goes to Johnny Carson.
And if people didn't laugh at his jokes, he's like, I hope your sister gets like run over by an infested mule or something stupid like that. It was great.
May a crazed weightlifter clean and jerk your sister.
Yes, sir. Oh, my goodness. And finally, the open mic Would You Rather poll. Would you rather spend a year alone in a deep-sea submarine or in a space station?
I think there'd be a lot more to look at if you're under the sea. I mean, you got the dolphins and whales, and did we have a similar question to this?
I was about to say it sounds similar now that you reset it.
Yeah, but deep sea,
there's no light deep sea.
There's no light in deep sea.
There's there's fish, but you can't see them. So this is different.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I'll go. Then I guess I'll go outer space. If you can't see anything in the deep sea,
I mean,
you get the glimpses of the giant squids just swimming by. You're like, what was that?
They'd have to press up against the glass, I think, for you to see them. I'll go to space station. Yeah.
Yeah,
but you got comets and stuff out there. You may not make it.
Well, I mean, if there's a leak in the submarine, I'm definitely not making it.
He's like, well, boys, this is it.
This is all she wrote. 78% of the vote says space station.
May a camel with a weak kidney condition find your hope chest. Yeah.
What? May
it's on the Karnak list I'm reading here.
May a camel with a weak what?
Kidney condition find your hope chest. And I guess pee in your hope chest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
And I still
you don't even know what a hope chest is.
My mom had a hope chest, so I know what a hope chest is. But I don't get it. It's not that funny.
No. Yeah.
I believe it was funny in 1974 when he did it. Yeah. Okay, all right.
Back at the bear, back when comedy wasn't real.
May the Swami of Baghdad squat on your fez. What does that even mean?
Your fez is a hat that we were wearing
hat.
a hat.
That's right.
Yes. Johnny Carson. I'll tell you what, Steve Allen. Steve Allen should have been on that list as well.
Who?
Steve Allen.
Steve Allen. What?
I love like both of you are just disgust when he doesn't understand, and I don't understand these references either.
Like I like to think I'm like in the middle of Mike and Austin, but the truth is I'm like so much closer to Mike than I am Austin.
Really hard.
What about Magic Johnson? Does he belong on the list? Remember the Magic Hour?
Yeah,
the worst late night show of all time. How long did that last?
Who did he have? He had like the female was the musical accompaniment to the.
I don't remember.
Oh, was it like Sheila E. or something?
It might have been. It wasn't on long enough to know though. It was on. What was it, like 13 weeks, and it was canceled?
In syndication from June to September of 1998.
I do love Kelly's suggestion of Arsenio Hall, because remember when Arsenio had on Bill Clinton? How huge that was for Bill.
So many cultural moments on there.
Yeah,
I liked Arsenio as well.
Dude, when he had Tyson on with Muhammad Ali. Oh my God, yeah, Arsenio.
Yeah.
We should put Arsenio on the list. I still would have voted for Johnny Carson. But
He didn't last that long either, though. Arsenio, did he?
I felt like Arsenio was on for a while.
He had a run.
Yeah.
He didn't have like a Jay Leno run.
No.
It was on from 89 to 94.
Like 93?
Okay, so 5 years.
Yeah. All right, straight ahead, we're going to get into the Tim Tebow verbiage because when you listen to Urban Meyer and when you listen to the owner of the Jaguars' son, it sounds like Tim Tebow's already on the team. That's next on Open Mic.
Now, here's your chance.
have some pretty clever listeners, I'll tell you that. All right, so we were just talking about Karnak the Magnificent, the old Johnny Carson bit he used to do when he was a swami and he would be able to predict things. So, all right, here's one that our listeners, one of our listeners just texted in. All right, so I'm Karnak. All right, so here's what Karnak says: prayer, slayer, betrayer. I open up the envelope, I blow on it. What Urban Meyer thinks of Tebow, Hernandez, and Bianchi.
Oh wow. That is so good.
In this digital age, the Mikeys needs to now have a new category, Texter of the Year.
Uh-huh. Wow.
Let me see if Austin gets this one.
That's
all right?
so good. That was really good.
That was really, really good.
Let me see if Austin gets this one. All right. The answer: quarter pounder. Ripping up the envelope. What Jimmy Carter's mother calls his first baby tooth.
Quarter? I don't get it. No, I can't even try and fake that I get that one.
I don't get that one.
Oh!
Jimmy Carter had huge teeth. Teeth.
Not according to the photo that we've seen of Joe Biden looking like a giant right next to him.
Well,
that's because old people shrink, and Jimmy Carter's way old. way old.
Yeah, he's real old.
I've never heard somebody say old people shrink.
They do.
Outright like that.
Yeah, they
Absolutely.
do. Yeah, they do. I see Gramp every single day, and he talks about how he used to be like 5'9", 5'10". He's all of 5'6" now.
All right, so obviously the Tim Tebow trying out at tight end for the Jaguars has become a big story. Why? Because anything that involves Tim Tebow becomes a big story, whether it's playing quarterback in the NFL, whether it's playing minor league baseball, it becomes a huge national story. Well, Urban Meyer has now been asked about it a couple of times. Urban Meyer obviously coached Tim Tebow in college and has let it be known that Tim Tebow is like a second son to Urban Meyer. All right, so here's Urban's most recent comments about Tebow trying out.
Years ago they would always talk about why didn't he play tight end and why didn't he do this? Why didn't he do that? And Tim, he has never played tight end. That's going to be a tough go. And he did. He tried out with our tight end coach. And I on purpose, removed myself from that because I have very strong opinions about the competitive nature and how tough he is. But I also have made a commitment to our owner and the people of Jacksonville. The only decisions I'm going to make is if it can help us win a game. That's it. There is nothing else involved. And that decision has not been made yet.
Fake news.
Yeah. Okay, so that's Urban Meyer once again trying to separate himself from Tebow getting the tryout at tight end. A couple days ago, he said essentially, yeah, he tried out, but I didn't even stay for the whole tryout because I had other things to do leading up to the NFL draft. And now he's saying that, he has purposely separated himself from it. Come on now. Urban Meyer is the only reason Tebow got a tryout is because of Urban Meyer. He has not separated himself at all. And now I want you to listen to this quote from Tony Khan, who is the owner's son. Shad Khan's son is Tony Khan, and he also is a bigwig within the organization. In fact, he's the chief football strategy officer of the Jacksonville Jaguars, Tony Khan, all right? Here's his quote about Tim Tebow. Tim has definitely come in and worked out, so beyond that, I can't say too much, but Tim has come in, worked out as a tight end. That's not a position that we've seen him play, but it's a position that he's been practicing at with us. So that will be interesting to see how that continues that contributes to us on offense. Obviously, Urban knows Tim really well. Tim has got a great history of winning. Urban really believes he can help us, and I think it makes a lot of sense, and it's a position where we need to get better. Two lines in this make me think that Tebow, it's already been decided, all right? Two lines in Tony Khan's quote, all right? That's not a position that we've seen him play, but it's a position that he's been practicing at with us, as if he's done it more than once, all right? The other line. It's going to be interesting to see how that contributes to us on offense. It's almost like it's already been decided, isn't it?
There's no question that it sounds like it's something about like how this continues on, which means that he's been practicing. He's going to continue to practice. Urban believes he can help us win.
Yes.
Like this is a done deal, and I'll never forget.
Wait a minute. He said Urban believes he can help us win. I thought Urban just told us he had separated himself.
Of course.
Huh?
Yeah. Listen, the only time I know that Urban Meyer isn't lying is when he's sleeping. Okay, that's the and even then he's lying down, so he's always lying. Okay. I remember back when this originally came up. 10 years ago, somebody said, "Why doesn't he just switch positions?" And it was Chris Doring, who I did the show with, who played 10 years in the NFL at wide receiver. He said, you don't understand how disrespectful that is to guys that play the position, either coming out of college or guys that are on other teams, maybe are about to be cut but are still floating around the league. You're telling me that the Jacksonville Jaguars couldn't find a tight end coming out of the college ranks and or guys that were on teams last year who are now going to be free agents, that they would rather work out at a position of need for them than a guy who hasn't played in the league for 10 years and has never played that position. Absolutely. Don't at me in any tweets. Don't send me any messages on Facebook. You're just a Tebow hater. No. I'm a realistic lover. I am a lover of things all realistic. And this isn't realistic to bring in a guy to play tight end to help your football team who has never played the position and certainly hadn't played in the league in 10 years. Makes zero sense at all. It's just a publicity stunt, a ploy, a reason to sell tickets, nothing more than that. And to me, it's sort of disrespectful to the franchise, to the league, to players who actually play that position, who probably deserve that shot more so than Tebow, like the baseball situation. There's other guys that deserve that chance more so than him, but because he's famous, he's getting it.
Hey, I'm a Tebow lover, and I agree with everything you just said. And again, he's 34. He's going to be 34 years old. He's never played the position. He's not that fast. He's not that big for a tight end. Hell, Gronk. I went and looked at some 40 times. All right, Gronk is like twice Tebow's size. He's like 6'7", 260 pounds. Gronk ran a faster 40 time at his combine years ago than Tebow did when he was coming out of the college. Tim Tebow doesn't have the physical attributes to be a tight end in the National Football League, especially in today's National Football League. So anyway, just give him a title and put him on the coaching staff or put him on the administrative staff. If you want